It's July, I think, 10th. There's FDNY over there. I think it's at 1076 on the, yeah, on the license plate. So I'm walking in Bayside. Here's the railroad tracks. So it's Bayside Station. And I came down 221, Chaplain Rock, whatever's over there. And as I'm walking, there's a man who has a lawnmower, but like a handheld lawnmower. And he is, and I can see as I'm walking towards him that it's emitting a cloud that's like white, bluish color. And I'm like, oh God. So I put my thing up so I'm not breathing it in, and I walk past. And then I see the EMS, so I stop to talk to EMS, and I've had 2 NYPD cars go by. I didn't think, I mean, they came from behind me, so I mean, there was no flagging them down. So I asked the gentleman in the bus, or the ambulance, I was like, you know, should somebody go talk to him about it? Because, like, if he's I don't know if he's doing this as a business or if he's just doing this as, like, a homeowner thing, but, like, it's not healthy for him to breathe in. And as far as, like, sharing the air or breathing the same air in, it's really not healthy for him to be using that kind of substance. And he's like, well, it could be motor oil. And I'm like, yeah, okay, either way, it's producing a cloud that is recognizable as not healthy to, like, breathe in. So he's like, so I was like, where do I report that? Like, because you guys are like, FDNY, you're like way up on the top of, like, super important New York City. I was like, and if you're not being trained or you don't know how to answer that question, for me, who's just in the field and noticed it but doesn't want to be sharing air or breathing air with somebody like this, like, where does that go in? Because, like, on the one hand, I don't want to be, like, the busybody in the neighborhood, but on the other hand, like, I don't want to die of ventilation issues. So, like, there's this fine line of, like, what am I supposed to do? And the guy's like, yeah, I don't know. And I'm like, yeah, it's just, like, what human response to, like, every question I've ever had. It's so frustrating. So anyhow, so, like, I don't know. And he's like, I don't know. Like, you call NYPD? And I'm like, right, yeah, just blame it on the other guy, sure. I was like, no, I don't, like, you guys are EMS. Like, I mean, you're driving the ambulance. First responder, I don't know. I thought it was you guys. So that's not reassuring, but so typical of New York at the moment. And I'm like, where do you take that? Like, you know, like, I mean, the man upstairs, like, what, are you talking Canada? Or, because, like, I haven't seen them in a while. And, like, who's our local collects the data kind of a person. So, like, I mean, I could tell my dad, but, like, I don't know, like, who's my dad gonna tell? I mean, it's an important, breathable, and on the same note, I'm out for my 10,000 steps, but the last couple of days I've had, like, UA results where I don't know but I'm just doing, like, a gross anatomy version of knowing that it's high nitrates or high nitrogen in the UA. Specific gravity looks very dense, and it is just, it's noxious. It smells like ammonia. So that's troublesome for me. And then I'm having problems with vision in the sense of trying to study an object and then neurological optical connection I'm having a problem with over the last few days, on top of this nitrogen waste, but the specific and the density is off for gravity for measurements, and, like, those are the observations I can make, which are great observations because I don't have, like, testing kits or whatever, but I also know that Jeff Smith on the ABC Channel 7 News the other day. I taped it. He finally made a definition of what ozone is. I've never even heard anyone say what ozone is. And they said it was something to do with combustible gases and the heat index and something else. And I'm like, ay. So I'm just making neighborhood notes, like pet peeves. Like I don't know where else to go. I didn't want to stop the man and chastise him. Like, that's not my thing. I mean, he's just out there doing his thing. But there's obviously some form of fuel that's in the circulating markets that concerns me and that he's actually using. And on like an individual basis, it doesn't seem like a big deal. But if multiple people in an area with a heavy air content like it is like right now, it's very muggy, very heavy, very dense air. It's whatever. And my biological is producing high amounts of nitrogen in waste products, which means to me, like, my inference would be that I'm low on oxygen ratio. I'm going to try to drink some water, to offset it slightly, but it doesn't help on this day-to-day. I mean, it feels like, my leg, I have some kind of, for lack of like a fatty tumor is what they called it, without boundaries, and it's just like, it's all of these, it's not my choice to live here. It's just this, I can't escape this area. And so now I'm just trying to deal with whatever's around me at the moment. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. And it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.